G'day and welcome to Vision. I'm Kyriakos, and today I'm here with some of the members of the Vision team. We have Tim, Liv, and Emma, and we're covering the Eurovision 2022 in Torino for Team Australia from Vision. Now, we'll be talking about semi-final one that just finished up not long ago, and what a show, and those qualifiers, wow, jaw drop. Now, we're going to run through each qualifier and then touch on some that didn't make it through. And we're going to go through them in the order that they were announced. Now, before we start, I just want to remind everyone that these are just our opinions and feel free to share yours in the comments section below. Now, let's start off with Switzerland. Switzerland was the first one to be announced. Liv, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a surprise, but I can see how it got through. I mean, it was pretty much the man ballad jury song of this final. So it definitely had a bit of luck there, I think. I mean, it all came together, and probably the running order actually wasn't too bad for it in the end because, our first two entries that came out on stage didn't qualify in the end. So it probably was in an okay pocket from that point of view.
Look, I'll just say I was surprised, but I think you can't argue that he doesn't deserve to be there. He has a great voice and it was a beautiful performance, and I can see that juries would have really gone for this. So it was a pleasant surprise, I think, for me.
Yeah, it was great to see a Swiss Aussie get through. So we'll have an Aussie to vote for in the grand final. Now, the next one announced was Armenia. Now, Tim, I'm going to throw it to you. What did you think?
I thought the stage show was really impressive. You'd seen the background and the leading up to it with the fake walls and the tearing off of things. I thought it came together in the end there. And yeah, when she sort of broke down that final wall and walked out in front of everyone, I thought it was really impressive and a real moment of the show, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really great moment, and you could hear the audience really get into it when they finally got to see her in that reveal. Yeah, exactly. Almost didn't work, but she made it happen.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah,
I know that was a little bit scary. Anyone else want to comment about Armenia?
I loved it. I really think that staging just elevated the song so much and just really gave it that extra little something that perhaps it needed from the studio version. I did get a little bit nervous when she grabbed for the fabric and missed it, but she got there in the end, and it was a lovely little surprise. So I really enjoyed that.
Now, the next one that got through was Iceland. Now, that was I think a bit of a surprise for me. Like, it was probably more in my lower tens, bottom top 10 for me, but it was great to see them through. I'm gonna throw it to you, Liv. What did you think?
Yeah, I actually did have it down to qualify. So I was pleasantly surprised when it did. It definitely is lending itself to the juries, but I think there's something there that the televote kind of can pick in as well. I mean, it is unique having that blend of voices. It is a little bit different in terms of the other jury-friendly songs in this final. So I can kind of see how it got through, and it is a nice, simplistic but mesmerising kind of staging. I think they've done everything right with it, really.
Tim, did you have any thoughts on Iceland?
Yeah, this was my real shock of the announcement. I honestly didn't think Iceland was going to get through, and I mentioned, it's a bit on the nose, a bit boring. But wow, the stage show really did come through, and I think the symmetry of the three of them and the brother drumming, I thought it really looked good on stage, and I think maybe between jury and televote, I think this is performed quite well. I don't think it'll be bottom 10. I don't think it'll be 10th or 9th. I think it's gone a bit better than that.
And the next one that got through was Lithuania. Now, that was a bit of a surprise, but some Euro fans will not be surprised and have proved us wrong. I'm going to throw it to you, Emma. What did you think of Monica's performance?
I actually really enjoyed it. I think she deserves to be there. She really sold that song as best as she could. The staging suited the song. Her dress looked beautiful. I love what they did with the mirror effects, sort of having two Monicas on the stage. I really was just pleasantly surprised to see this get through, and I'm not surprised that people went for it, because it was a good contrast coming straight after Latvia, I think, if you didn't like that performance.
I honestly didn't think it was that good of a song, but I think the stage show and the mirror effects really brought the performance to life. So kudos to Lithuania.
Yeah, it was very reminiscent to me of the Lithuanian national final, but just there's just a sparkle with her performance, and she really did actually shine and made great use of that stage. It actually did work at the end. The next one that was announced was Portugal. Now this was one of my favorites. I had this in my top three, and I'm so glad to see it through. I was so worried that they weren't going to get through. Liv, I'm going to start with you. What did you think?
Yeah, I don't really click with the entry, but I can see why it's in there. It's a nice little intimate performance. And once again, I think it's something that the juries really probably could sink their teeth into. You loved it so much, Kiri. Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, no, it's just a very world music sound. And I personally did like the fact that she's singing with her friends and they're all in a circle. Sometimes their backs are to us. I know some people don't like that, but I like that they had this intimate moment. I felt like we were witnessing that. That was me anyway. But yeah, I'm so glad to see it through. And another Portuguese with a bit of English, but Portuguese language getting to the grand final is fantastic. Rest of you guys, do you have any thoughts on Portugal?
I'm just very happy to see it there. It's one of my favourites, and I was a bit worried for it after the rehearsal. So I'm really pleased that people have connected with it, or the juries have rewarded her as perhaps may be the case. So I'm really pleased to see it there. I think it's a lovely contrast to some of the other songs.
Now, the next one through was Norway. Now, a huge fan favorite. Now, I do want to start with Emma because I know, Emma, this is one of your favorites. What did you think of the performance?
Yeah, look, I thought it was great. It was probably not a lot different from what we saw them do in their national final, but just elevated, to make it a little bit more on a larger scale, I guess, for the Eurovision stage. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. I know my kids were dancing and singing along, so I think it would have had really wide demographic appeal. And even a lot of adults, I think, are looking for something a little bit happy and silly at the moment. So I think it would have had a really big televote coming for it.
And Tim, what are your thoughts on Norway?
I'm just looking forward to Friday night when friends message me saying, "What is Norway sending this year? What's the story behind that?" And then I got to explain it. Oh, they're from the moon, and it's their chosen song, and they've got to perform in English, and it's all very musical theatre and Masked Singer. But I think the performance was really good. Solid performance straight out of the national final. Looked good. I think it's been a very good vote with the it's been a very good winner with the televote.
Yeah, very popular. And I did see that Eurovision Norway on the Instagram put a picture of Tix in the DJ Astronaut outfit. I don't know if they're trolling us. I don't know if he is the DJ Astronaut, but crazy. We've seen more crazier things than that. So we'll find out soon probably who is behind those masks. Next one that got through was Greece. Now, that was one of my favorites. So happy to see Amanda through. I really still feel like it's probably the number one jury favorite, but I can see a lot more that the jury can go for from the other entries as well. But yeah, so happy to see her with that staging, that voice, and that vocal moment. Very proud for Amanda. Now, Liv, I'm going to throw to you. What did you think?
I think it's a testament to her presence, the staging, and the vocal, because the song was very much in my 20s when we went into the competition. But when I started to see it during the rehearsals, I was being, won over every single time I saw it, right? So it is a very compelling package, and her voice has this lovely clarity to it. It is very, very, it's outstanding. So I really enjoyed her performance, and I'm glad she got through for you as well, Kiri.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy. Guys, do you guys have any comments about Greece?
I think this will go really well on Saturday. I think if the UK sort of stutter, not saying that they will, but if there is a bit of a gap, I think this could really do well with the jury vote. You can almost say it's up there now with that top 5 pack of Ukraine, UK, Spain, and Sweden. I think in terms of potentially winning, so I think it's really elevated now.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there, Tim. Next one announced was Ukraine. Not a shock to get through, but what a performance, Liv. What do you think?
Absolutely love it. You know, I've got those tingles. I actually did get emotional afterwards. I was tearing up. I thought, yeah, that was something really special. You know, the staging is so intricate, and they've changed it a little bit from the rehearsals, where you can see a bit more of the eyes and the hands in the background, which I think really helps. So they've changed the camera angles a bit to make the narrative work even better. There was some other camera angles that I thought, oh, I wish they didn't drop that one. That probably would have been nicer. But you know, the having the blue LED with the yellow, and then it's very special the way it all comes together. And also, most of all, they're singing it so well. Like at the national final, I thought there was room for improvement. Now they are absolutely nailing it. The rap is perfect. It's all in time. I think this is a very, very special entry.
Yeah, that connection with the audience has really given this performance that extra oomph. Emma, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. Just the way that they have made a few little changes to the staging from the national final, which have really been designed to build the impact. Like one of the shots of them, the 5 of them all in a row walking towards the front of the stage together. That I found that really impactful, and particularly when they stand there and sway from side to side, and the LED floor, the movements mirror that movement from them. I just thought it was a really, you know, beautiful package, and just to see the way that the audience in the arena was interacting with it as well, I really think that it's a big favourite.
And Tim, what did you think? It was a big performance, wasn't it?
It was really special. I think, yeah, probably one of the highlights for the contest itself, or for the semi-final at least. Yeah, I think this will do really well on Saturday. There's no denying that there's some potential behind it. And it's just a great song. It's just, you know, regardless of the, you know, politics behind the contest, it's just a good song. So it should do really well on Saturday.
Yeah, I got goosebumps as well from the beginning, and there's just a lot of buildup of emotion. And then at the end, I do have to admit, the shots in the audience with everyone with the Ukrainian flags added that extra oomph to the whole performance and the emotion to it, and the reason why they're there. The fact that they made it on the stage, given what's happening in Ukraine, is a huge accomplishment and achievement for them. The next one to get through was Moldova. Now, it didn't surprise Liv and I, who watched it in the rehearsals, and we saw how much of an impact Moldova had in that lineup. I absolutely loved it, and the colors and the staging, and the audience went nuts for it. Liv, what did you think?
Yeah, oh my God, like Mike, he said in the arena for the jury show, it had the second biggest crowd reaction after Ukraine. And you could feel that through the screen. It was just huge. The crowd was just standing ovation, going bananas. No, it doesn't surprise me this got through at all, especially considering that, you know, we have Albania, Latvia, and Austria, all the bangers, you know, they all died successfully in this semi. So to have something with a pulse like this, we knew there was going to be something like that would get through. And, you know, they do put on a great show, and you can tell they have a lot of experience in stagecraft, and they know how to get the crowd going. It was a great show.
Tim, what did you think?
Oh, Moldova, they just always bring something every year, and they've brought it again this year. It is just so iconic. I'm happy that I think Zob, I think.
Yep.
I'm probably messing at that, but I'm just glad that they're back, because they really bring energy to Moldova, and I really enjoy their performance. Yeah, really great. Happy they're through.
Emma, did you want to add anything to the Moldovan performance that we just watched?
Yeah, look, I'm so happy that they're through. I was at the OJ preview party in Melbourne a couple of weeks ago, and this absolutely went off. Like, so many people got up off their seats and hit the dance floor. And it was the first song that had that reaction. So that was just a little indication of how popular this song would be. And they've been to Eurovision twice before, and they've done really, really well with songs that probably aren't as good. So no surprise from me that they're there. And I'm so happy, because it's just so great to see everybody having a moment and reacting to something and just seeing pure joy.
And the last one announced was the Netherlands. So glad to see the Netherlands through. I'm going to throw to you, Emma. What did you think?
I thought this was beautiful. I was a bit worried when she was the last one to be announced. I thought surely she hasn't missed out. And I'm so pleased that she got through. There was just something really beautiful and heartfelt about it. And she actually got quite emotional at the end of the song, which I think just gave it something a little more, particularly when she was singing in Dutch. And so the majority of the audience and viewers at home wouldn't have understood what she was singing about. But that didn't matter because you could just get that emotion and connection from her. I really enjoyed it. It's a beautiful song, and I think it would have scored very well with the juries. But I think there would have been a bit of televote love for it as well, because it was just so different from everything else that was on tonight.
Tim, what did you think?
I completely agree. I'll be honest, this has been my favourite song of the whole competition. I'm just so happy that it got through, because when it was down to the last one, I was a bit of a nervous wreck there. So I'm just glad it's through at this stage. Yeah, I think this has gone really well with the jury. I think there's clearly some good jury notes there. I think the best part about this is that the staging is so simple, and I know it's just her, and it's a bit of an empty stage, but her singing and performance really elevates it, and I think gives that extra bit of momentum. And yeah, I think I'm really glad it's gone through.
Yeah, this was by far the best performance from Steen, and especially from the rehearsals we saw. And I think it was that extra audience oomph that she got from the audience, and then her emotions at the end. I'm like, wow, she really took this on and delivered. So it was great to see her get through. Now, I have to say, some of the results, the top 10 results, do scream more of a jury favourite vote. Now, we could be totally wrong about this, but Liv has a bit of a theory. Liv, I'm going to throw it to you.
Yeah, okay. And like I said, this is just my theory, but I think in the climate that we have, that probably the Ukraine has gotten a humongous televote in this semi, so high that it's nullifying some of the televote sort of impact for some other countries, basically, and also probably Norway and Moldova as well are probably right up there. So my theory is that they've sucked up so much of the televote that it's actually left the juries to kind of have a bit more of a say than they perhaps normally would in a semi-final, because there are some songs, particularly the first 5 that we went through, that on other years they probably might not make it, or maybe 1 or 2 of them would make it, but not all 5 of those songs typically. So, it's just a theory. But I do think that maybe Ukraine's heading towards the biggest televote of all time, and that maybe it has sort of skewed what got through a tiny bit more.
Tim and Emma, do you have any thoughts on this theory?
Yeah, I think you might be onto something, Liv. Just seeing so many, usually 1 or 2 songs that were sort of borderline qualifiers get through, but to see sort of 3 or 4 get through at the expense of a couple of what we suspected would be big televote favourites makes me think that perhaps that there could be some truth to that theory, because it does seem, I don't think anybody would have predicted this top 10 if you had have asked them at the end of the show before the results were announced.
Now, some great artists didn't make it through and didn't qualify, and there are some shockers here. I think there's 2 major ones, but the first one we're going to talk about is Albania. Liv, what did you think? Albania did not make it through.
She couldn't have done much more, right? Like, she had a plum spot being the show opener. It's always, you can never forget a show opener like that. She performed really well vocally. That was one of the best ones we've seen from her, including all the rehearsals. I don't know. It just went into the void. It will be interesting to see where it actually finished from that 11th to 17th spot, whether it only just missed out or whether it really disappeared for some reason.
Yeah, it is interesting. I guess when we find out the results, was this the one that just didn't make it? Tim, what did you think about Albania not getting through?
I think it is disappointing. I think Ranella would be upset about it. But that that's life, and 10's got to go through, unfortunately. I do think this has been a victim of Liv's theory that the jury has sort of the televote has sort of taken away a lot of the power from the jury, and I think it has been impacted by that. I think also going first has impacted it. Maybe it was in competition with Latvia in terms of televote. It has been affected by it.
Yeah, interesting you mentioned Latvia there, because Albania was a show opener and Latvia came straight after. And Latvia is the next, I think, big shock entry that didn't make it through. And I really thought Latvia was going to get through with that energetic performance they had today. Emma, what do you think?
Yeah, look, I was personally, I'm quite disappointed that Latvia didn't get through because it is one of my favourites. It was always on the cusp from people going into the show, but then once we saw rehearsals and saw just how much fun they were having on stage and the whole package just really came together, I really don't think they could have done any more. It's just one of those things. Who knows whether they were too early in the lineup or whether, you know, this proves Liv's theory that perhaps there just wasn't enough televote love to spread around and someone had to miss out.
Now, the next one that we're a bit surprised but they didn't get through was Austria. Tim, what did you think?
I think this had been on the nose for a lot of the time. It was sort of, is it, you know, if it was going to get through, unfortunately, it was going to be 8th or 9th or 10th. It was just going to scrape through. Whether the vocals were a bit, you know, shaky, not quite the best, maybe, but I think they should be proud of the performance. It was a good, solid performance. It looked like Lumix and Pia were having fun on stage, and that's all that matters. They've still got a career ahead of them, so I think they've still got potential for later years to come.
And the others that didn't get through were Slovenia, Bulgaria, Croatia, and Denmark. Guys, any other comments on the other countries that didn't get through?
I would just add in for Bulgaria. This was my least favourite song going into the competition, but I really enjoyed that performance. I think they gave as much to that as they could. It was really entertaining. I loved their guitar solo at the end. I thought that really lifted something. And with the pyro, I think if you liked rock, perhaps that and Denmark cancelled each other out. But I think that was a really enjoyable performance, and they did as much as they could with a song that probably wasn't a favourite before the show.
Yeah, I agree. Their stage presence was actually really good. So if I saw them qualifying, they would have just scraped it through, but unfortunately they didn't. Now, just real quickly from each of you, any comments on the overall show, hosts, Diodato's performance? What was your favourite part of the show, Tim?
I mean, Diodato always just brings a tear to my eye. You know, Fire Amore will forever be the one that could have. You know, forget about Iceland. It was so great. I'm just glad he got to have his time on stage, and yeah, brilliant performance. We'll cry later watching it again. So. And
Emma, what did you think of the show? What was your favourite moment?
Yeah, loved that. Thought it was beautiful to hear the crowd all singing along with him as Diodato sung. Also, I love the Italian disco section.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Loved hearing Awful 65 and Robert Miles and Benny Benassi and a few others. I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a great job of that, and the staging for that was just amazing. It looked fantastic.
And Liv.
Yeah, I mean, similar vibes. The Italian producer Dada, seeing him was pretty cool, and Diodato performing was definitely just the moment of the night. He stole the show.
It was almost like a winner's reprise kind of performance.
Yeah.
It even had the shower of fireworks and all the pyro. That was amazing. All right. Well, thank you all for sharing your thoughts. It was a very early morning for all of us Aussies here. We had to wake up before 5 a.m. But yeah, enjoy the rest of the Eurovision week, guys. And thank you very much. And see you later.